Hi there, it's Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and I want to share with you a kind of weird trick that I use to help me get important things done, the kind of things that I kind of tend to put off and don't enjoy doing. So I really hope this trick helps you. And before we dive in, take a second and give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe notification because we have lots more videos coming your way. This is a trick that I've been using probably for the past 4 or 5 years, and I didn't really think anything of it until I was with a friend who saw me doing this, and she was really intrigued, and she texted me later and told me that she's been using this for herself, and it's been working. So here's the trick. You use your reminders on your phone, but in the proper way. And before you click away thinking, well, using a reminder on your phone is nothing new, is nothing weird. Listen to how I do it. So normally, if you're gonna use that little reminders feature on your phone where you can put something in and it'll pop up whenever you tell it to, you would say something like, let's say I need to cancel a subscription. Like I signed up for a TV subscription to watch a certain thing and I don't want it anymore. So I'll put a reminder in my phone to go ahead and cancel that subscription in like a month or whatever it would be due. And if I just do that, then here's what's gonna happen. That little notification is gonna pop up on my phone, I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna think, yeah, I really need to sit down and do that. I hope it's not complicated. I hope I don't have to call someone or email someone. And I'll hit that little snooze. And then I'll hit it again. And before I know it, I've already renewed for the next month, and I'm like, well, may as well forget it. And I end up not getting it done. Instead, here's what I do now. Instead of just saying cancel subscription, I say cancel subscription to XYZ or be charged $17.80 a month. Now I know that sounds really like a subtle difference, but it makes all the difference. So I tell myself specifically what will happen if I don't take that action. So pay my taxes by such and such a date or be faced with late penalties. And that's literally what I put in my reminders for those things that I absolutely hate to do. And paying taxes is one of those things that's just no fun. And so I'll write that in to just give myself that little bit of extra reminder that like there is going to be a consequence if this doesn't happen. You can also reverse this in a positive sense. So most of the time, although I'm a pretty positive person, I tell myself the negative consequences that will happen if I don't do it, but you could also use this for highlighting the positive outcomes of doing something. So say, instead of just saying, go to spin class at 6 p.m. on Thursday night, you could say, go to spin class and imagine how you'll feel going to bed at night knowing that I got that done. Whatever it is that motivates you. But the point here is, don't just say what you need to get done. Instead, make sure that you include your motivation, either positive or negative, for why you want to do that activity, and I bet your completion rate will go up by a ton. Now, that's not all. So I want you to start doing this like right now. Like the next reminder you put in your phone, you can totally do this. But there's a few more things that go along with this that are really going to make your phone a more useful tool for helping you get things done. So once you've done this, I want you to do a second thing, and I want you to make sure that you do not put reminders in your phone for every little thing. Because here is what happens, and if you've ever tried to do this, you've probably experienced this. If you take everything you need to do and you put it in your phone, then you're gonna have reminders popping up all the time, multiple times a day. You're gonna be in the car, you're gonna be on a phone call, you're gonna be at an appointment, and you're gonna have to snooze them or silence them, and you're gonna start ignoring them. And then they're not going to help you at all. So be really selective about what you choose to put in your phone as a reminder. The rest of your to-dos, you should use whatever means you have. I have a planner that I use to help me keep track of what I need to do, but don't put every little thing in your phone as a reminder. In addition to simply not putting in too many reminders, you don't want to use your reminders for most routine things. So if there's like a routine that you want to do every day, like you want to journal every night, I wouldn't recommend a reminder for that because it's just going to become part of the noise and you're going to get so used to it. So you want to train yourself that every time something pops up, it is something you truly need to pay attention to. One more thing that goes along with this that's going to help you a ton is if you have notifications on your phone for every little thing, turn them all off. It's far better that you only allow the notifications that you really need to see and you actually pay attention to them versus having a notification every time you get an email, every time you get a like on Instagram, every time someone comments on your Facebook post. The only thing that I receive notifications for is if I get a phone call, I do want to hear that. If I get a text message, I would like to know about that. A reminder or an alarm is important to me. And every once in a while, I will also allow updates like Instacart updates or something like that, but be incredibly selective, and then you'll actually pay attention to it. For everything else, there's a time that you can go in and look at your emails. There's rarely an email so urgent that you need to see it right that second. And if there is, most of those people also have your phone number, so if it was incredibly urgent, they would know how to text you or call you. That's going to help tremendously. Next, you can also use alarms strategically. So a reminder is going to pop up on your phone. There's various settings. You can choose to have a sound or not, but it's going to pop up. It's going to maybe give you a little ding, and it's just going to sit there on your notification screen. You can choose to snooze it for most phones, but an alarm is something like would wake you up in the morning that you can set that will not stop buzzing until you press the stop button. So if there is something that absolutely must happen at a certain time or there will be dire consequences, that's when you use an alarm. So obviously, waking up in the morning, if you want to use your phone alarm, you can do that. You can also name your alarms on most phones, for sure on an iPhone, so I have some named. But again, be very, very careful. I'm not using alarms for things that are not super important. So what I use an alarm for is to pick my daughter up from school at a certain time. She has 4 days a week that she's picked up at one time and 1 day of the week that they have early dismissal, which I think is kind of confusing and I think would be easy to forget, oh, this is early dismissal day. So I have an alarm for that because I don't just want a reminder. Like, I would never want her to be like sitting there at school waiting for me to come and I don't show up. So that's an alarm. I cannot ignore it. It's going to go off until I get to it. The other thing is medication that, like, this is not like daily vitamin type of medication that you absolutely, like, if you don't take it, no big deal. This is like medication that you really need to take it or bad things are going to happen. I would set an alarm for that. Most other things, I wouldn't use the alarm feature because, again, it's going to start going off all the time. And let me tell you, you're going to turn them off. It's very annoying to have buzzing happening all the time. So I think if you use your reminders and your alarms strategically, you can make sure that you get those most important things done, even if they're things that aren't very fun. If you enjoyed this video, then I know you're gonna love a recent video that Tasha from our team posted on how to get the best stuff done this year and really in any year. So I'm gonna put the link to that so you can go check that video out.